What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with another video, and in this video I am going to be recapping my trades from today. I actually went 1 for 2 today. The first trade we got stopped out of. It was a good setup though, and then the second trade actually hit TP, but we were in the trade for like an hour. So today was a very slow day, which was expected. We only have red folder news on Tuesday and Thursday, and today is a no news Monday. So I was expecting today to be slow. Let me just show you exactly what we took, and let me break down my trades and show you the executions and everything. We ended up making like $1,900 across all accounts because, we lost that first trade. We won the second trade. As you know, with my rules, right, I take a first trade. If it's a red trade, then I could take a second trade at 50% size. So first trade, I used 2 minis. Second trade, I used 1 mini, but we still came out green. So let's get into it. So on the daily time frame today, we actually didn't have anything. I didn't see anything at all on the daily. Dropping down to the 4 hour, we have this 4 hour bearish fair value gap. Now coming into market open, this was my draw on liquidity. And if you're in the Discord, you would know that my thesis for today was that I was short-term bullish, long-term bearish. So I wanted us to be bullish at market open, trade into this 4 hour bearish fair value gap right here, and then reject out of it. I don't really want to see us trade back into all-time highs. I want to see us trade up, reject off of this 4 hour bearish gap, and trade to the downside. So that's exactly what my thesis was. I wanted a long up into this gap, but as you know, if you paid attention this morning at market open, we literally just ripped to the upside and there was no opportunity for entry. So what we did was, our thesis was that we were going to take a short out of this 4 hour gap, but obviously we can't just short a 1 minute inversion out of a 4 hour gap. So we needed to find PD arrays that aligned with this 4 hour gap. And what do we see here? Well, we see all of these bearish fair value gaps. These are 15-minute bearish fair value gaps that all look good for price to go ahead and trade into and reject from with a lower time frame inversion, right? So right here, we can see that price was clearly inside these gaps, and actually dropping down to the 1 minute time frame. Let me show my executions here for a second. Dropping down to the 1 minute time frame, we actually got a nice, and we also did have SMT inside of this 4 hour gap. As you can see, we didn't tap into this gap on ES until 9:45, and this trade happened like soon after that. So we did have SMT, bearish SMT inside this gap. But so this first trade, here, let me hide this indicator. This first trade was just a 1 minute inversion. As you can see, we inversed this 1 minute gap. That was my entry. And my final TP, this was the trade. Here, I'll mark it out. 212, where's 212? Right there. Stop went at the protected high, of course. And then my final TP was just this low right here, right, for a 2.27R. And as you can see, we got stopped out pretty quickly. And then the second trade, I actually entered off of this inversion right here on the retest. So we got an entry at 24325, which is right here. Let me just put it over here. This was the entry. Stop obviously goes at the high. And the low that my final TP was these relative equal lows right here. As you can see, these are like relative equal lows. And this trade actually took 53 fucking minutes to play out, but it did end up hitting TP. This was a nice 2.14R. We caught like 45 points. This was a nice trade, but as you can see, we were in profit. I thought we were gonna take TP relatively fast, and then we would go all the way up here, make these. People definitely got stopped out break even. I don't move my stops to break even. As you can see, here's my sell, here's my buy. But in profit, back to drawdown, in profit, back to drawdown, in profit, back to drawdown, in profit, all the way deep in profit, back to drawdown. And then look how many times we got edged right here before we ended up taking TP, right? Edged by like 1 tick, edged, 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 and then we went ahead and took TP, and we've been consolidating ever since. But as you guys can tell by this trade, we're taking 1 minute inversions here. So we're not like, using all of these top and bottom tick strategies. We're not like trying to be super complex with it, right? We're literally trading very simply. The only difference between how I trade and how most people take inversions is that most people don't have a market narrative, right? The only reason I was short here and I was considering taking shorts off of these lower time frames was because I had an entire market narrative built before I entered these trades, right? If you're in my premium Discord, in the narrative, you'd see at market open, I said, I'm short-term bullish, long-term bearish, right? I want to see price trade up into that bearish 4-hour fair value gap, and then I want to see price dump out of it. Now, I was trying to take a long into that gap, but since we didn't get a long into that gap, I was perfectly fine with taking a short out of that gap, right? And we can't take a lower time frame confluence with a 4-hour bearish gap, right? Those are just two big differences, right? So we have to find confluences on lower time frames, right? Like a 15-minute, right? Like a bearish fair value gap on the 15-minute that aligns with a lower time frame execution, like a 1-minute or 2-minute inversion or a change in state of delivery. So these were my trades for today. Went 1 for 2, solid day. I really was annoyed at this trade. I mean, you could just tell how frequently I was in drawdown. But if you want to join the narrative, then you can click the link in the description. Join the narrative. We do 3 Q&As a week. I recap all of your trades. You get my daily draw and liquidity levels and analysis. I'm in the chat making sure you guys succeed. I have a 30+ video course that literally teaches you exactly how I trade. So if you want that, go ahead and get it. Today, I am going to be reviewing everybody's draws on liquidity. We do have like Q&A homework as well. So if you want to join, click the link in the description. Also, Alpha Futures, 10% off on standard plans this whole entire month. So be on the lookout. I'm going to be doing some giveaways with them. I'm going to be giving away a few 150K standard accounts as well when you use my code Char, of course. Link is also in the description. So with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. And yeah, if you took this trade, let me know in the comments. I literally read all my comments. So if you have anything to say at all, just let me know. Subscribe if you're new. You know, the usual shit. You can go ahead and follow me on my other stuff if you feel like it. Also, we literally just hit 10K subscribers. So thank you guys for that. I cannot believe how fast we hit 10,000 subscribers. Like crazy fast. But with that being said, hope you have a great rest of your day and peace out.